Hello everyone, this is LW Gaming and welcome to a Hero Showcase video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Lukhmaan. And also, before we begin the video, there's something I'd like to show you guys. You guys didn't notice, like from one of the videos I made previously when I first talked about Lukhmaan's, when it comes to VA. Well, apparently the game kind of messed up on the name of the VA. They called this one Grand Eastland Tree. I was like, why would someone be named like that? Or there's a possibility that someone might think like this character is voiced by a tree, like literally a tree. But thankfully that's not the case because that is not really supposed to be there. So hopefully in the future they will fix this because right now the VA listed for Lukhmaan is not right. No one should be named like this unless it's just there just to be funny. But I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about what Lukhmaan's about. So anyways, Lukhmaan at 3 stars. This is his stats on 3 stars, and I believe at 6 stars, his bonus on stats will be like up to like 20%. Yep, 20%. While the other stars at 4 stars it'll be 13, 5 stars 16%, and then 6 stars 20%. So I'm gonna read this based on the 3 stars version. So just bear with me. So anyways, attack and defense are increased by 10% at 3 stars. And he possesses comradeship and command. Oh, hold on one sec. Okay, anyways, where was I? So anyways, he possesses comradeship, or known as unity in the Chinese translation, but in the official English is comradeship. And he also comes with a command. So basically, for each other comradeship ally within 3 blocks of comradeship allies, attack and in are increased by 10%, and this can be increased up to 20% total. And I think this one increases based on star level. Let me double check that really quick. So this is the amount. No, it stays the same. Okay, I see how it is. So I don't know, every time when it shows the number, it shows like usually is red, like red in color. Initially I thought this was gonna be like a change after you like start up a character, but no, that's not the case here. Anyways, when these characters have comradeship on there, their offensive stats are increased by 10%, and this can be up to 20%. And this cannot be dispelled no matter what, and this will ignore immunity. So even if you have buff block, this will still go through it and apply. And then at the start of turn, this will apply comradeship to the nearest ally until there are 3 comradeship allies on the battlefield. So by the way, comradeship buff also applies to Lukhmaan himself. If there's no like 3 other allies on the field. So if there's like only just 2 allies nearby, he'll put the unity on those 2 units plus himself. Just keep that in mind. And then after taking action, can select 1 comradeship ally and teleport them to the comradeship ally within 7 blocks. And this has a trigger cooldown. This can only be triggered again after 4 turns, which is a 3 star. I believe you get the 2 turn cooldown at 5 and 6 stars. And the command skill stat boost effect cannot stack with other command skill effects of the same type, which makes sense because the Xenon doesn't want things to get out of hand when it comes to like the command effects, because the commands, if they stack for some reason, that will be too broken, because you have like more than 1 command and then they'll just stack up and then it'll become somewhat like power creep, which Xenon was trying their best to avoid. But as of right now, it's inevitable because there are other units in the game that are just obnoxiously broken. And not just stats though, it's just the way how they functions as the meta goes. As for the faction he's part of, he's Glory, he's Strat, and he's also Yules. And then for classes, he is Infantry and Lancer. And let's talk about what skills he comes with. So at the start, he would begin with Roar, which is the common skill. And then when you upgrade the class, you'll unlock the Raven Breaker, which is like 1 word by the way. This one attacks 1 enemy, dealing 1.5 times damage and this will, like, before battle, reduces the enemy's defense by 25% for 2 turns. And then after battle, you grants mobility +2 to combat ship allies for 2 turns. And then when equipped with melee soldiers, these soldiers will also attack. And this is not affected by melee damage penalty. So even though if you attack this at close range, even though this is meant for, like, range attacks, you're not really get hindered by that. So don't worry about anything when you're using this skill. The second skill we're going to look at is Arcane Agglomeration. I think this is some kind of an armor skill, but anyways, the passive on this one, after initiating battle, restores HP equal to 20% of damage dealt to allies with comradeship. If the enemy is defeated in this battle, all damage skill cooldowns are reduced by 2 turns, which is super useful for the other skill that we just talked about just now, which this one only has 2 turn cooldown. So if you're able to eliminate the enemy with that skill, you'll get this back instantly, which is pretty nuts. And then the active part is that this is an active skill, which typically they'll call like that. Gains immune to all debuffs and maybe some debuffs. I don't know. It just says immune on here. And an attack and increase by 20% for 2 turns. After use, can you move an additional 3 blocks and attack again? After using this skill, any buffs on the caster do not lose their turn count. So yep, this is a typical self-act against skill, and this also gives him more of like an option of like negating some debuffs, as well as giving himself more attack and instat increase of 20%, and he'll be able to move 3 blocks afterward in an attack. Kind of like Andy in some scenarios, but without the passing through enemies. No, it's not. He doesn't do that for that skill. He also has the common skill called Deadly. Sword Soul, he also had Attack Break, Sweep, and Defense Support Large, and which is a command skill. So let's go through what the class tree looks like when you get him for the first time. This is what you get. So this is what he looks like initially, and then when you reach to the second upgrade, you'll unlock this skill here, which is called Ravine Breaker. If you go for Lancer route, you'll unlock the Attack Break passive skill. And if you go for the final class for Lancer, Scales of the World Guard, you'll unlock Sweep, and later on Defense Support Large. And if you go for Infantry route, you'll unlock his unique skill, which is the Arcane Agglomeration. I think that's how I call it, but I apologize if that is not how it's pronounced. But anyways, it's the Self-Act Again skill. And if you completely upgrade his final class on infantry, which is called Sword of Rectitude, you'll unlock Deadly as a passive, and Sword Soul as the very powerful common skill that will straight 5 buffs. So now let's move on to the soldiers he comes with. So he has these options here. Well, I believe this one's actually added as default, but I might be wrong here, but I don't think they will add any more heroes in the extended list. I don't think they would do that. They would just add them to the primary list. So he has Dragon Trooper, which is really strong, especially in the SP form. Mechanical Dragon Knights as well. Sandsea Mercenary if you choose to. There are actually some good options here. A Flame Lynx for whatever reason, but Dark Centurion is also a good choice. Hoplite 2. Heavy Infantry if you're just like starting out and you didn't get any advanced troops like you saw here. As for the equipment, this is the one I'm running with, although there's one thing that you might actually change on this one here, which is the accessory. The accessory here is that he preferred to have wings, if that's equipable for your current class. I think it is equipable, but anyways, the reason why I go for Apex Boots is because it is similar, but this will be activated at all times. Which is an alternative if you don't have wings. And then as for the weapon, I think he will best preferred with other weapon like I chose Bone Crushing Hammer, so that way it will make him kind of tricky to do, which will disable the enemy's armor, which most units in the current meta have last rights. And if you're able to break that armor, you can pretty much ignore everything that they have to resist the damage. Well, of course, this doesn't guarantee the kill, but It's just an example. So his best preferred armor is, I mean not armor. The weapon is the Ragnarok. If you're building him as a lancer, you cannot build this as a infantry, unfortunately. So I believe his best class is a lancer if you want to go for the fixed damage route. But if you want to go for infantry route, Bone Crusher's hammer will do just fine. Tiamat's blessing is a preferred armor for him because most of the time he'll be in mixed forces, like with the soldier selection I showed you there, which is with Dragon Trooper. If you have that setup right there, this armor is going to be so useful against magic attacks. But of course, you don't want to get hit by anything in general. But I mean, if you have no other choice, then that is one way to save your Lukhmaan. If he's away from your team for whatever reason. And Furriateer is also a must use for him, which will allow him to hit hard and also counterattack if for some reason he is defending. Which he's not a tank, by the way. And finally, run Apex boots or wings for his accessory, depending on your preference. I think the best usage for this one is using wings for like more mobility, because this one only gives you one mobility at all times. So yep, the choices are there. And then as for the awakening stages, I'm gonna do those right away so you guys can follow along. And spoiler alert, this should not be that difficult if you build this well. But if you're not building well for some reason, that'll give you a hard time. So just follow this here. So our three opponents are like, the first one is the Bannermate Abishai, the second opponent is Ilya, and the final opponent is Alia. And the covenant we'll be using here is Tyr for, of course, physical boost, because Loki is preferred for magic base. Since Lukhmaan is a physical unit, we don't need the Loki here. Okay, well, let's go over here, and then we will activate this to increase our damage stats. We're gonna not do that because that's teleporting, which doesn't really do much since we're the only one deployed here. Attack Abishai, which I don't think that's gonna kill because of the revive that he has. But we could do that if we want to, but we don't need to do that. We're being hit, but not much damage taken. We're just gonna go right ahead and hit him like that. And we're just going to stand, because that skill is not useful here when it's like not in teams, because we're solo. Okay, there's the angel. And fun fact, the NPC, or I should say computer controlled Ilya, they don't take advantage of the angel's range. So yours should be fine even though if you're inside of it, because those AIs don't consider using those efficiently. I'm just gonna go right in and attack her. And I'm just going to do this, although it doesn't really do much because you can only teleport in place rather than going somewhere. Here comes Alia going to attack. Yeah, with the AoE. Ouch. Doesn't really matter. we're gonna finish her right here with Sword Soul. Okay, victory is ours. Now we're gonna move on to part 2 of the awakening stage. Oh, come on. My mouse is playing tricks on me again. I need to replace my mouse. But right now, I don't have time for that. So I'm going to try to work with this as much as possible. So anyways, this is stage 2, and we got teams now. So Our teammates are Zion, Makira, and Shem, along with Lukhmaan, and then the enemy team is the same thing. Now let's check out what skills they have. So Zion with these skills here, they are single targets. Makira, I believe are there some AoEs? No, they're all single targets. Okay. Shem, this AoE, I believe. Yep, there's a straight one, and there's also a single target one. Alright, let's do that. And unfortunately, since these units are NPCs, Lukhmaan's comradeship cannot be applied to them for whatever reason. So we're gonna rush forward, even though we usually don't do that on the first turn, but it is what it is. I'm gonna go right here and then attack Shem right there. Oh, or I can just go. No, I cannot put on the mountain because that's not possible. Attack Shem. And it one-shots him. And I'm just gonna stand here because that is not gonna do much. How far can I hit? Okay, all the way over there. We gotta be mindful of where we should go because we do not want that Zion to cause problems for us. Okay, that's his position here. For now, and Lukhmaan's gonna be attacked by Makira. Looks like she's gonna do the same thing to us. And Lukhmaan's gonna die here, unfortunately, because of the class advantage. And he just dies. Oh well. Okay, now what? I think we'll hold on. Is this an act against skill? Yeah, it is an act against skill. Okay. And I can teleport over there, but she's blocking it. Okay, forget about that. Let's attack the enemy's Lukhmaan, and then use this skill here. Almost. And then I'm just gonna throw it again. Yep, at 3 targets. Okay, let's attack the enemy Zion here. And that Zion's dead. We could choose to spare him if we want to, but we're not going to. Okay, we'll have Shem attack Lukhmaan directly. Okay, Shem versus Makira. Shem survives. She's gonna throw that at us. And I'm just gonna AoE the crap out of her. And let's have Zion finish her off. We're not gonna spare her and finish the battle. And there we go. That's Lukhmaan's 3C unlocked. Now let's equip the skill, and then we'll get into the showcase of what this looks like when you use it in battle. So be right back. I'm gonna get into the Mightiest Knight stage as my testing ground. Or I can just use Apex's settings to do that, because now there's like a battle training ground which doesn't require me to, do much other than just testing. Yeah, battle test. We'll go in here and then use this stage to test. Okay, we can have just one unit here against another guy of my own, of course. I gotta find Lukhmaan. He is somewhere on my list. Oh. Where is he? Where is Lukhmaan? Hold on, be right back. I need to find out where he is. Alright, I'm back. I just need to make some few tweaks here. So as you can see here, there's the unity effect on here. So I'm gonna show you how it works here in general. So I'm gonna use act again here, and then use the skill to teleport your comradeship ally forward, and that's how you transfer them over. And now I'm just gonna get up close and then show you guys what it looks like when you use this skill. There you go. And also, since actually wait, that's not the same here. Okay, I was not able to kill him, but let's see what happens until then. Yeah, nothing here. Okay, so I'm gonna return to the preparation menu because I'm gonna add a team now. So to show you guys how to guard ignore when in this kind of situation. So let's have a tank on the team. So let's see, what should we bring as our tank? We can bring Tarantel as our tank, and then let's do that, and then we'll have let's see. I think we'll just roll with just 2 units here for now. So I'm gonna show you how you guard ignore. So, for example, you have these guys over here. I'm just gonna do this, and I'm not gonna curse anyone because I'm just showcasing it. So, like for example, if these guys are like clumped together with a tank, like this. And normally Tarantel is gonna guard, but for Lukhmaan, like if he's not close enough to to attack where he should be, like this one's example, he's gonna guard it, and that's not gonna be feasible. With a 3C. So, and by the way, the guard ignore works with 3C only, so just keep that in mind when using Lukhmaan. So I'm going to backtrack this so that way I'll show you how you can do this in the most effective way. So use act again here. Since you're already up close, you need your comradeship closer, like at least 3 blocks from where you're attacking. Like right here. And then use your 3C, and this will completely ignore the guard. And there you go. The tanks are not going to be that useful here. When at least there's a comradeship in range, which is super easy to do. Initially I thought that you couldn't do that, and it's kind of like end relay, but no. This guy is actually something that you need to watch out for, because he can literally just bring someone forward, and then he will just guard ignore whoever he wants. So yeah. That's the showcase for you. So anyways, I'm gonna wrap this video to give my conclusion give myself a conclusion of how useful he is. So what do I think about this character in general? I would say he's worth it. He's worth getting if you think about using him in Apex at some point in the future. But of course, you can do that now because we're currently in season 22. And do I think he's useful in PvP? I would say yes. He is useful in some scenarios though, because he's not like the definitive answer against like most metas nowadays. But if you're able to use him more effectively on the field, he can do a lot of work. Not gonna lie, even at 3 stars, even. So But of course, his best preferred stars is at 5 or 6 stars because most units are usable around that star level. But even if that's the case, Lukhmaan is still a threat no matter what stars he is. So anyways, that's it for this video. So hope y'all find this video helpful or informative, and I'll see you all hopefully later today for a second one because I still need to do the other one too. So see y'all next time.